Welcome to Monday Momentum on Communicate to Lead. I'm Kele Belton. And if you're a woman in leadership ready to step into your full potential, you are in the right place. We are in the second week of our June series on the difficult conversations you walk into, brace for a fight, and what each one actually is. Last week, we looked at disagreement. Today, we are looking at what happens when someone questions a decision you've made. You know the moment I'm talking about. You've made a call, you're standing behind it, and then someone, a peer, your manager, a stakeholder, asks you a question about it. The question might be perfectly reasonable, but something in their tone or in the way they framed it makes you feel like you're being challenged. And before you've thought it through, you hear yourself doing it. You're explaining, you're justifying, your voice gets more careful, more measured, and the more you explain, the smaller the room makes you feel. Here's what I want you to know. What feels like a challenge can also be a request to understand. And those two things look almost identical from the inside, but they create completely different conversations. Here's what I see happen with high-performing women leaders. When someone questions a decision, the instinct is to defend it, to walk them through the reasoning, to prove that the call was sound. The problem isn't that the explanation is wrong. The problem is what it signals. When you defend, you put yourself in the position of having to prove something before the conversation has even started. You're answering a charge that may not have been made. But here's the reframe. What feels like a challenge can also be a request for clarification. The other person isn't trying to take your decision apart. They are trying to understand it well enough to support it, act on it, or to figure out where it fits into something they are working on. Reframing defensiveness as a clarification works because it changes who's holding the position of authority in the room. When you defend, you are answering. When you clarify, you're explaining your thinking from a place of ownership. The strategy is a small language shift. When someone questions your decision, instead of starting with, here's why I did that, try this instead. Here's where I was coming from. The word why, here's why I did that, signals defense. It puts you in the position of having to justify the call. The sentence, here's where I was coming from, signals perspective. It signals you had a vantage point and you're offering it up right now. The other person is no longer the judge. They are the colleague trying to understand how you saw it. If here's how I think about it, or here's what was on my mind when I made that call, feels more natural to your voice, those options work too. So instead of here's where I was coming from, it becomes here's how I was thinking about it. If you want help to find the right words that sound like you, use the AI prompt in the show notes to find the version that sounds most like you. Then pause once you found that phrase and ask one follow-up question. What is prompting the question? That question surfaces what the other person actually needs. Until you know which one it is, you're answering a question that may not be the one they are asking. So before we move to your action step, here's the full strategy in one place. When someone questions your decision, the opening phrase is, here's where I was coming from, and then give them the explanation and follow it up with this question. What's prompting the question? One phrase and one question. So the next time someone questions a decision you've made, pause before you explain and ask yourself, am I about to defend or am I about to clarify? If you can name the moment as a clarification, lead with the phrase I just shared with you, then ask the question and see how the conversation lands differently. And that's a wrap for today. If Monday Momentum is giving you strategies you can use right now, follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to stop navigating leadership growth alone, book a leadership strategy call. The link is in the show notes. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to go, and what it'll take to get there. Remember, not every question is a challenge. Sometimes it's an invitation to understand. That's your Monday Momentum, my friend. I'll see you on Thursday for a deeper dive. Trust your voice and lead with confidence.